What is happening, Blades, and welcome to the first ever poolside Blades Ramble. I've had a nightmare just trying to find a spot that we can set up properly without looking like an absolute tour. But anyway, we're here, aren't we? First things first, I'm not going to retract what I said about Jack Robinson, but on reflection, I do think I was a little bit harsh. Now, I still think he lost Haaland for the goal. However, I think prime Maldini isn't stopping Haaland from scoring that goal. So it's been put to me that sort of my predetermined bias against Robinson might have been at work there, and there might be some credence to that. I'm not perfect. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that what I say is always right. It's emotional after the game. I always want to be honest on it. I lost some subscribers, to be fair, because of my little short that I went in quite hard on, more so Larouci. I stand by my Larouci claims. In terms of Robbo, I think he's been our best defender this season, and that surprises me just as much as anybody else, I think, to be honest. But I've got to give him the credit he deserves. So that's me sort of holding my hands up and saying I were harsh on Robbo.
In a way.
Are you going to apologise now?
Yes. Sorry about that.
Larouci, I just do not think he's ready for this level. And people have come at me for that as well, which, you know, I love that we're all protective of Blades players because they're Blades, aren't they? And don't get me wrong, I'd love him to be a success. I just don't think he's good enough. I've not seen anything from him. And yes, he's only played 125 minutes of Premier League football or whatever it is. But is anybody confident in his ability or what he's shown us so far? Because I'm not at all. It's not just the clearance that he didn't make, but they went past him. He's not a defender for me. He's a converted winger to a left wing back. And you can tell. Once you know that information, you can't unknow it, can you? It's so obvious. To be honest, focus now, in light of Ozzy's injury, has to shift to left wing back. We still need an attacking midfielder. I'd love to get McAtee, but I think we need a left wing back. And I think Fernandes at Man U, who were at Preston last year, has been mentioned. And I would look at him as my top target now. He's going to have to forget Palestri and go for him from Man U instead. That would be my option if I had the choice. Man U are looking for a left wing back themselves, so we might have to wait until they've filled that spot to go and get him. He played well against us a couple of times, and apparently he had a great season at Preston throughout. So I'd be looking at Fernandes at Man United for his left wing back role. But overall, I think it's worth mentioning. Listen, I was very emotional after the game, and I'll get like that at times, and you'll have to sort of come at me and whine my neck in for me and sort of give me a bit of a reality check. So I appreciate everybody that were respectful in the comments, but also sort of saying, come on Jimmy, it's Man City. And you're right, I'm wrong, you're right, it's Man City. What an unbelievable performance. We were 5 minutes away from getting a point when no one, us included, expected us to get anything. And to think we've got McBurney, who came on and changed the game for me, thought we were absolutely superb. I think we've got Cameron Archer to come. Oh my God. It's just, what a player. I cannot wait to see him in a Blades shirt. I genuinely think he'll be the difference for us. And if we can get McAtee to complement our attack, I think we've got every chance. I know it's no points from 3 games, and the first 2 it's frustrating. And it's even more so frustrating because, and shout out to Eki out south putting this on the radar, but Luton, we weren't ready for the start of the season. I put a tweet out about this. We weren't ready for the start of the season. And if we'd have had a bit more time or a chance to delay some games, then we'd have had a better squad. We'd have all gelled together a little bit more. We'd have been fitter, all this sort of thing. Luton haven't been able to get their stadium up to spec in time for the kick-off. So they just get the games postponed with no sort of reasoning, no punishment. Why aren't they made to play their away game that weekend as a minimum? But they have more time to get players in, bed them in, get them playing together. I don't see where fairness is there. Let me know what you think down in comments, because it's just not right, really. It'd be nice, you know, if we'd have had option to delay a couple of games while we got our squad together. So we'll see. That's just how things are. What I'm going to ask you though is, where do you feel we need to strengthen? Where, because I know some people have been a bit shaky about Egan. Listen, I know I've been banging on about a goalkeeper, and Wes played very well against City. I can't say any other. But I'd at least like some competition for him. If not to replace him, I'd at least like someone pushing him for that number 1 spot, rather than Davis, who's very much a number 2, and he's a backup in case Wes gets injured. I think we need to be thinking a bit more sort of long term. I banged on about Mike Cooper from Plymouth, who I don't think would be a big outlay. I've talked about Victor Johansson, which I know a lot of people like Victor Johansson at Rotherham. Let me know where you think we need to strengthen. Obviously, the left wing back's a glaring one now at the minute. So as most of you know, we're on the way to try and get 5k before Christmas Day in terms of subs. So if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, please do if you like the content. But I could make the best content in the world and still not get anywhere near that figure. So I've put this to the Ramblers and received a fair bit of encouragement. So I'm going to up the volume of videos temporarily, and we're going to do a daily video, a daily ramble every day in September. So, and I've thought about this, it'll be worthwhile content, but hopefully that increased volume will lead to the increased sub count, and get us closer towards our target than we are currently, because I think we're on about 2.8, 2.6 at the minute. And projections are that we could well get there, but I just want to give us the best possible chance, because we've so many exciting things coming for the channel. Well, I'll be able to talk about them very shortly. I think to be taken seriously by the sort of the wider football community, you have to be at least 5k, if not around 10k, to get similar opportunities to what the bigger channels are getting. So we want to be in that conversation. We want to keep creating quality content. If anybody's got any ideas or wants me to sort of start doing a certain thing, then let me know and we'll do that, or we'll consider that. So next up is Lincoln, and usually, because we're in the Prem and everything rides on us staying in the Premier League, it'd be chuck it away. Let's just put out the kids, focus everything on the league. I can see merit to that, but it's slightly different for us this time, because we've been so late in formulating the squad and getting everybody together in time. I think we've got to get minutes into this team, get them, and we've brought a fair few first teamers in now, so I think we've got to get them to gel together. So I would be playing a very strong, not our strongest, but I would be playing a very strong team just to get minutes into the legs where necessary. So I'm going to ask you, what's your team? So my team for Lincoln, and it's not one that I want playing 90 minutes, but I'm going Davis in goal, because obviously match fitness for Wes isn't an issue. I'm going Bash, Egan, Jackie long throw. That's my 3. And I know that might surprise a few, but there's method in my madness. I'm going Jaden Bogle at right wing back, and I'm going Trusty at left wing back, because I want to see how he performs at left wing back. Now, halfway through game, I might consider switching him at half time and putting Trusty at left centre back and Robinson at left wing back. Or I might just move Trusty to left centre back and bring Larouci on at half time to see how he gets on. Then in middle, I'm going strong, fairly strong again. I'm going Souza to try and get his minutes up and get some match fitness. I only want him playing 60 minutes because Wednesday to Saturday, it's a quick turnaround. I think he needs more minutes in the tank. I'm giving a full 90 to Tom Davis, just to try and get him up to speed and somewhere in the mix, at least for the bench for Saturday. And Andre Brooks, who deserves some minutes, he's done well every time he's come on. Gus Hamer's match fit, we don't need to get any more minutes in his legs. So that's me, midfield 3. And up front, I'm starting with our strongest pairing, I'm going Ollie McBurney and I'm going Cameron Archer, and I'm trying to give them 60 minutes to form a bit of a partnership there. And the way I'm doing it, and shout out to Andy the Blade, who we've discussed this previously, I think as a front two, McBurney has to be the deeper of the two. And I'm not saying that just because it's like the Tuberak Pom role. I'm saying it because McBurney's not a target man. We've used him as a target man in the past and it don't work. He drops deeper because he's good with his feet. He can hold the ball up, but he's also smart in terms of little neat touches in and around. Archer, off the shoulder of the last defender, lethal poacher, should be the furthest one up the pitch. So McBurney to drop deeper, not quite into the 10 role, but he should be the deeper of the two strikers. And Archer playing off the shoulder off the last man. I'd expect us to be 2 or 3 up come 60 minutes, and then we can whip them off. Listen, I know a lot of crying out for Louis Marsh. I wouldn't mind Louis Marsh coming on at all. I think Traore's shown us what he can do, so I don't think he necessarily needs to be showcased anymore, because I think he'll be our impact sub in the Prem. I think we bring Asula and Louis Marsh on 60 minutes, and then hopefully Louis Marsh gets a decent cameo, and people are clamouring then to sign him on loan, because that's exactly what he needs. Same with Andre Brooks. If Andre Brooks gets a loan move out of this, absolutely brilliant. I think it's deserved and I think it's needed. Bogle could come off for Sachdev. These sort of changes, I'm not, if we've established a decent lead, but we need not just a positive performance, we need a good result now going into Everton on Saturday, and we need more cup games. We need to get these games to keep players involved. If we get into the second round, then we get more players involved, don't we, for the next round. We can do this again in terms of getting players fit and getting them up to match fitness and speed and stuff like that. So that's my team, and I know it's fairly strong, but let me know what you think. I want to know your teams down below. And just a final shout out to our Ramblers who support the channel fantastically well. That group chat is absolutely brilliant, and I know it's very busy and it's probably a little bit marmite, because I know some of them have turned notifications off and just dip in occasionally, but others who just want to be in the thick of it, getting to know what's going off. That's where we drop all information. If you don't want to wait for a ramble, that's where to be. So if you want to become a Rambler, all the info's down below, but as I say, the main thing for us at the moment is just subscribing would be a huge help for us. So thank you to everybody that does, and thank you to everyone that's about to. I'll be back for a deadline day special. Whether I meet the deadline or not is going to be a huge sort of touch and go moment. It depends. Everything has to run smoothly with travel. If I'm going to do every day in September, I can't fail on first day, can I? So we'll be back hopefully live for as the deadline's approaching, to discuss all things Blades. But even if we've just missed the deadline, we'll jump on anyway. So join us for that if you can. Come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blade.